You will not believe who critiqued my art. If that headline doesn't stop you in your tracks, I don't know what will, right? Super, super creative headline. And I've been having such a good time lately contemplating how to be too creative to ignore. How can you guys, as artists, photographers, creatives, be too creative to ignore? Where they can't just scroll by and they can't just ignore your post. It's got to be so creative that it stops traffic, right? And I think with AI, we have a fantastic and much easier opportunity to do so, right? So I've got a new hack I've been playing with. I want to show this to you guys today. Per usual, whoever wants to be my guinea pigs on Instagram, just let me know that I can download some of your images and I'll work on one of your images as I do this. But I want to give you some iterations of this headline, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the technique. Okay. So you will not believe who critiqued my art, right? You are reading that post. Like just about everyone's reading that post because of how good that headline is. There's other versions of this headline. The last person I expected just critiqued my art, right? Boom, that's got you. You'll never guess who had opinions about my work. That one will get you. My art got critiqued by someone unexpected. Here's what happened. That one will get you. I couldn't believe who shared their thoughts on my art. That one will get you, right? When insert famous person's name critiqued my art, this happened. Guess who had the nerve to critique my art? The one critique changed everything about my art journey. Someone shocking gave me art feedback, and it was brutal. My art was critiqued by a legend, or so I thought. What surprising search instead of my art? You guys get the gist, right? Like, those headlines, those type of headlines can literally stop people dead in their tracks. Like, you do not pass go, do not collect $200. And so I want to show you guys a quick way to do this. I'm not saying you do this all the time, but from time to time, you guys should be leveraging this. And it's so easy and it's so creative. And it's a way to literally stop people from scrolling dead in their tracks, right? Dead in their tracks. So I'm going to go to Ken's profile and I'll show this. Let me see. There's a work here that I think would work well. That one's a video. Let me get that bird one. Okay, hold on. Let me get another one that I really like. That's a beautiful one, Ken. I want to get one that's distinct. The bridge. I like that one too. I notice you're watermarking some of these. Okay, I see. These are just scrolling bars in the bottom. Just be really, really careful with the watermarks, guys. If it's text, you're okay. If it's anything other than text, absolutely do not do it. Let me see this one. What did you put as a caption on this one? I'm curious. Are you the type to decorate for the holiday right after Thanksgiving? Or maybe you're about matching pajamas, right? All right, so hold on. Let me download this one. So I'm going to grab these three nature-based photographs, and let me show you exactly how I do this, okay? So I'm going to add this artwork to Art Helper, and I'm going to show you guys how I like to prompt the AI to give me this type of hook, okay? And it works literally for anyone, right? It works for anyone. It doesn't matter what your work is. It doesn't matter what your subject matter material is. You just have to get a little creative in how you do the actual display of it, okay? So let me see which one of the three I'm going to pick here. So I want to go back to this one. Let's see what Ken said in his description about this one. Where is this bird? I'm going to find it again. Doing my best. Is that what it was? Want to go behind the scenes of my process? Oh, nice, Ken. You got a class going on. Where did I get that image from? Anyway, I'll just go and process it. Here it is. So your caption was finding and capturing beauty in a different world. Ken, this is stunning. People just love it. Okay. All right. So what I love to do is go into Art Helper. Okay. The image is loaded in and immediately go to the product description section. Okay. This is just how I like to hack this to do this the way that I want. And yet why it's doing it, someone was asking the rule on watermarking. Stop watermarking. Just don't do it. The only thing you are allowed on your images is text. Okay. So no logos of your brand, no logos of anyone's brand. If you do that, Instagram especially, although all of them play by the same rules, Like you are just not going to get the reach that you would get otherwise. So if you guys are watermarking on the socials, stop it. It can be text, nothing else. Text isn't technically a watermark because text, it just thinks it's text, right? But actually, it probably reads the text and knows if it's a company and still demote you. So just don't put the text on top unless it's unreal. But we're talking about single images, okay? So here we are. We've got this bird, right? And all you have to do to just leverage any of this hook framework, right? Like, so the last person I expected just critiqued my art, right? You will never not believe who critiqued my art. And the simplest way to do it is like, okay, so Ken's a wildlife photographer, right? And so what I just put into the suggest changes or add more context section of the art helper here is, please critique this image as if you were John Muir, noted wildlife expert, right? Wildlife expert. And then hit enter and see what happens. And you can pick anyone that you like that is relatively famous, okay? And the AI knows everything that they've written, everything that they've ever said, everything that they've ever published. It can be celebrities, okay? It can be a world-renowned people in your field. It can be stand-up comedians, okay? It can be people that are funny and make memes. It can be political figures. It can be anyone, right? And so, as John Muir might say, this artwork reveals the profound connection between wildlife and the environment, inviting us to pause and appreciate the simple yet memorable moments. And one of the things that I love doing is you don't know which result is going to be the best, right? You're just kind of playing and you're getting creative. So the first thing that I love to do is I'll just save it, okay? I'll save it in here, and what it does is that when you save content in Art Helper, it saves it like in this little saved content, so you can just come right back to it in 2 seconds. And what I love about this is like I'll generate a bunch of these, just being creative, just having fun, seeing what comes out great, and then I'll go back and I'll get the one that's like really, really good, right? Please critique this work like you are Eddie Murphy and you hate this particular bird, right? And so now it'll do this in the comedic acting voice of Eddie Murphy, like he doesn't like this particular bird, right? And the point that I'm talking about here is when you combine an image, right, and a really, really good hook, and like this is the last person I expected just critiqued my art. It was Eddie Murphy, right? The last person, you'll never guess who had opinions about my work. And then in the caption, you're like, yeah, it's Eddie Murphy. Here's what he had to say about it. Like, I can't not click that. I can't even look away from that if I'm scrolling on Instagram. Like, how many people will see Ken's image of a bird and they love wildlife, so they'll see a bunch of images of wildlife. And you know what my point in that is? Like, when everyone is posting images, which is the same thing, you got to have something on yours that makes it stand out extra and kicks it up a notch. And this is where I think AI is just so profoundly powerful. Like, with a little bit of creativity, you can act like anyone has reviewed your work, right? It can be anyone famous, anyone that's a critic, anyone that has like, a ton of fans, a ton of followers, a ton of everything else. And you put it in there in a cheeky fashion and you just leave that post. And just by doing that, if you guys even just did that once a week, or, you could even do a carousel post where it's like, the last person I expected, or if it was like big like this, right? You will not believe who just critiqued my art. Next carousel image, the actual artwork, right? So next carousel image would be this one, the actual artwork. Then you can put some of his text, which is funny, and then put the rest of it in the caption. There is no way people will be scrolling and not stop the scroll instantaneously and go, oh my gosh, you have the funniest sense of humor ever. That was hilarious. I can't believe you did that. It's just so insanely powerful. And I'm telling you, any of you guys can do it, right? Anyone. And Tim's asking, because I dabble a lot in artistic things, should I have a social media page that is only for my art? Yes and no. I mean, like, look, if you know what your art is and you're going all in, then yes, have a social media page. And I should put like, I've been doing a ton of these lives lately. And if any of you guys have questions about Art Helper, you can throw them in here. If any of you guys have questions about how best to leverage AI to promote your work, you can put them in here. But I'm in a situation now where I'm about to go like crazy on this for the rest of the year, because I really do believe for the first time a great many of you that have never had employees in your business now have employees in your business. So going back to the technique and tactic that I just outlined, you will not believe who critiqued my art. Go ask the AI, okay, art helper in this case, to be that critic. Have them critique your art and go post that on social and watch what happens. The whole ballgame changes because people are scrolling at 1,000,000 miles an hour down your Instagram profile, right? They're all going at 100 million miles an hour. If somebody actually critiqued,
unlock your artistic potential with our pack.
Quiet. If someone was actually like, you looked at the image and it's like, so and so just critiqued my art, that is going to stop people in their tracks. That is how you are too creative to ignore. Okay. And that's how you go. And Art by Lale's asking, well, how do you disclose that it's not really Eddie Murphy? You just put at the end of the caption. I mean, first of all, Art by Lale, they're going to know it wasn't Eddie Murphy, right? But you can put down at the very bottom, obviously this wasn't Eddie Murphy, but what do you think about the art, right? It's just you guys being cheeky. It's you guys being funny. And it's just a way that, be too creative to be ignored. Be too creative to be ignored. Like everyone just focuses like, I'm just going to post an image. 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 Your job is to get people to stop the scroll. And if you do a comedian or if it's a particularly harsh critique, right? People are going to love that. They're going to resonate with that. It's just not something you see normally on social media. So here's a very, very easy way to do it, right? Figure out someone that you would love to have critique your art. And again, it can be anyone, an actor, a musician, a famous author, somebody that died 500 years ago, right? I mean, you could have here's how the Pharaoh Tutankhamun critiqued my work, right? Like the more unbelievable it is, the more irresistible of a hook it is, right? And again, like, you will not believe who critiqued my art. The last person I expected just critiqued my art. You will never guess who had opinions about my work, like on and on and on. And while you guys are watching, one thing I do want to show you that I just released and I'm really happy about is I just dropped an episode yesterday, and it's more conversations equal more art sales. Let's start some. It's on the Art Marketing Podcast. Really, really good episode. It's also on YouTube too. But if you haven't subscribed to the Art Marketing Podcast, definitely do that. This shows you how to leverage Art Helper and direct messages on Instagram to go outbound and really seriously get people's attention. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And I'm probably going to make an in-depth podcast episode on this very technique and tactic. I usually just come and talk about it live, but I've been getting incredible results doing this. Every single solitary one of you can do it. And it is way more interesting than whatever you posted. I promise you. And the best way to do it literally is with a carousel post, right? Because if we go back to Ken's version, Ken's version just had the swan on it and one little layer of text, right? Not swan. What is this? A crane, probably, or something. Maybe a crane. Anyway, it does look beautiful in the living room, though, Ken. People are not just going to stop their scroll if it's just a photo, and it has nothing to do with the power of your work or not. It's like all we see are just images all day long, right? Image after image after image after image. So I would literally start the carousel with pick one of these headlines that's like amazing, and then start with just one square in your color that says, "You will not believe who critiqued my art." Next one over, show the art. Next one over, name the person, and then do a down pointing arrow. I've got to build this whole thing in Instagram so you see it. Do a down pointing arrow to the actual caption where they talk about it. You do that, you guys are going to get more likes, more comments, more shares than you ordinarily would, and it takes just mere seconds with AI. So more to come, more live broadcasts on how best to leverage AI for you guys to get more likes, comments, shares, follows, all of the above. If you want to try out Art Helper, it's arthelper.ai. It's open, it's available. You guys can all get in there and kick the tires. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And thanks for tuning in. Bye now.